Okay, this is the MNQ or NQ. They basically be about the same signals. This was the end of day yesterday in the afternoon, U.S. Central Time. Got some lift into the last part of the day and then into the evening. Then we get into Asian session, EU session. The market's kind of running out of steam to the upside after many, many, many days up, and after the huge gap up Sunday into Monday. Market's still hanging on, still hanging on. And you can probably see right here, I've kind of been expecting some sort of a pullback at some point when you look at how far price is away from close on Friday and the amount of deviations we were up. At some point, these guys are going to ring the till. Not that they're going to, sell it off huge, but they're going to take some profits. Okay, let's go to drawing tools and let's just go to a line real quick. And you can kind of see there's this trying to hang on, trying to hang on. And right about the time in the overnight session, before the EU markets open, we did break that uptrend line, and we did have a Algo IQ signal. This is on a 45 Renko. We had lift, no qualified up signal, and I just put a very extensive, super long 20-minute video up about all the capabilities. This is a multi-dimensional indicator, has the capabilities for precision scalping, intraday position trading. We have momentum burst trade setups that we'll be tracking with the indicator, and also for swing trading. There's all different modes. So then we got a bit of lift, and then we got a secondary short signal, and that was that decent sell-off that came down and took out the pivot lows of the last day or two, or at least from yesterday's trading. Buyers came in pre-market, did a little buying, and since then it's been pretty much a chop fest. So there's no, I guess you could say there's no catalyst yet to really have the market have a big sell-off. There's been an unending massive string of significantly positive econ news, trade news, and geopolitical news. And I'm kind of surprised the market's not still chugging up, but I can just feel it. The market's way overbought right now, and we're way out of the value area for institutional side to be a buyer unless they have some catalyst they can use to come in and juice this thing and go up and blow out shorts at the highs of the highs and get another range extension higher. Now, they might park this today and then use Friday, the last day of a week, to take it up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's been a little bit choppy. But overall, I've been holding my own, and I was short last night a little bit, and the sell-off was a little more extended than I thought. But anyhow, pre-market we had a buy, chopped around a bit, no qualified sell signal. Then we had another buy right here, a sell, then a buy, then a sell. And so it's been a bit choppy this morning. But anyhow, overall, I've held my own. So, and I'm up on the day. I think I'm up about $1,700 on 300K accounts. So I'm only in two runners right now. Or what? Wait, no, I'm in four runners. I'm in four runners, and just seeing if I can get over about 2,000 on the day, I'll just shut it down. Okay, let me show you some additional items about the indicator that I really went into in depth. You have the ability to adjust the sensitivity of the indicator. Obviously, if you make an indicator too sensitive to price, then you're caught in the noise of the price action. But you do have that adjustability. And you have the ability to step the indicator. That's an endpoint style of smoothing that can be very effective for completely masking out the noise of price and just seeing the bigger picture structural moves. So that capability is in the indicator in two modes. We have a MA1 mode. That's really where I don't use step typically. Let me go back up to a 19, and I'll go to a 0. In MA2, that's a whole other calculation style. That's the one where I have to make the indicator a little bit more responsive to price. Then from there, I can step it up. And what I'm trying to go for here is to just dial it in so I just catch the bigger picture structural moves and qualified signals. Now, in my opinion, the two best ways to trade a prop account are not to get in and be every little back and forth, be chasing it. You have to be really good to do that. What you want to do is usually, get 3 to 5 good, decent moves a day and have a bigger picture look of things and go after those moves. And if you have a precision indicator, even if you have very narrow range markets, here's a long, here's another long, then a short, then a long. You can hold your own, but when you do get that one move or two moves, you can get over your daily goal. And I personally am very daily goal focused. So if I can get about 700 a day per 150K account, that's workable. If I can get about 1,000 to 1,100 a day in a 300K account, that's good for me. And then build out your accounts wide. So anyhow, just wanted to show you some of the adjustability. And the next thing we're adding is a momentum burst component. We're going to call it the MOM or MOM. That's in works right now to be added. We're layering that in. So let me get this back to a 19, where I typically have it for this time frame, and go back to a MA1. The other thing too is you do have the ability to turn on and off certain things. And so what I did is I took a hybrid smooth Heikin-Ashi. I completely gutted it out. I like the looks of the indicator and the way it plots. I just didn't like the math and how unresponsive it was. So I went in and put in my own math, and voila. So some of the videos you saw me post the other week where you only saw the vertical stripes, that's all I did is I just, for the most part, canceled out the Heikin-Ashi portion of it. Right now I didn't turn it off. I just kind of colored it something neutral, but that's available. The dots are like pre-signals giving you heads up you might be getting reversals. Those are called RV dots, reversal dots. And then the primary AIQ for Algo IQ, the AIQ1 bull and bear signals are all relative to the time frame you're on, the settings you have, and the instrument you're on. But it's not hard to really get this indicator dialed in for some very precision scalping operations, depending on the instrument and time frame you're on. And you can trade FX, futures, crypto. You can trade everything with it. Whatever asset class you can be looking at in Quant Tower, you'll have no problem getting the indicator dialed in. And a matter of fact, I just opened up a community room for the community, and I'm posting up a bunch of templates on gold, oil, MNQ, NQ, ES, MES, and Bitcoin futures today. Now that we've had our first event, great people at the event, in person and remote. We have another additional events coming up in June and July. There are some slots still available, and I now have August dates. So basically, it's always the second. So we meet for about 2 hours on Sunday, and then we meet for about 6.5, 7 hours on Monday, 6.5, 7 hours on Tuesday. So it's basically 2 full trading days and then a few hours in the evening on Sunday, just to make sure everybody knows where to go, is all set up on tools and all that good stuff, and on and on. So there you have it. Algo IQ has been deployed, the group's up and running, and more Algo IQ events have been scheduled. And if you have any questions at any time, info@gridalgo.com. But the final thing we're adding to this indicator before I go on and deploy the super bands, I came up with a whole new. They plot completely different than any bands I've ever had before. The super bands will be deployed to the Algo IQ group. So I should be messing with a rough draft version of it tomorrow. And if I like how it looks, and I'll do some testing with it Friday into the weekend, then I'll release that to the group early next week. And we're putting these tools all on the TickBlaze platform. So I have a meeting with the TickBlaze programmer to see how that's all going. That's accelerating now too, after he had a little bit of difficulty understanding this calculation style I'm going to be using in what we call the super bands. And now I got him some additional reference material on that math calculation and programming style. And now we're dialed in and moving forward. So the MOM signal, that will be the final thing we add to this, is when the market gets into linear bursts. So let me kind of show you an example. So the Heikinashi, this style of smooth Heikinashi, gutted out, and then my two types of math calculations for having a more responsive calculation of math for following price, but not getting whipsawed by it, or having the ability within the indicator to granular fine tune the indicator to dial it in per instrument or time frame. There are numerous linear price movement events day to day in these markets. They're all over the place. And holy cow, do they happen in FX, and super holy cow, do they happen in crypto. And there's a ton of them in futures too. Oil, gold, NQ, and other instruments. There's a characteristic that we can see in the uniqueness of a smooth Heikinashi, that when we get a certain ratio of the overall construction of the Heikinashi, what's going to happen is we're going to have a square box that would print. And it's not going to be like a huge box, Basically, you'll have a square box filled in and shaded, whatever color you want. And then what's going to happen is on that candle, there's an output that can be tied to third-party tools. And basically, you're in an MOM trade, meaning this is a momentum trade. This whole trade is about catching really quick bursts of qualified high momentum. So you're in the trade at bar close with the market order, stop about 2 bars back to 3 max. And as the market's running, whether using a bracket trade or using the outputs on the AIQ1 indicator, talking to a great third-party tool like Algo Studio Pro, which can take your indicator outputs and then can take any trade setups and make them fully automated, customizable. You'll be off and running in the trade. You'll have your threshold where your stop goes to break even plus. You'll have your trail mechanism, however you want it set up, and you'll be off and running. For the manual discretionary trader, easy enough. You'll get your square that prints below the trigger candle where we have the MOM or momentum conditions. Let's say you have it filled in like there's a green square. You'll get a special audible tone. You jump into the trade with a bracket that's constructed within Quant Tower. You get the signal, you hit the buy market button. Your stop is already deployed. You have a threshold set. When the market gets to the threshold, stop goes to break even plus. Maybe you take off one contract if you're trading in units of 3. And as the market's running, you stay in the remainder of the trade or all the trade, whatever your preference is, up until the point that you hit whatever you're using as a actively following trail stop. These are low amount of risk on entry, catching all the quick bursts throughout the day. So we can trade reversals with the system. There's a trend following setup I'll film and show you later in step mode. And then we have the MOM or the momentum trades, MOM, getting added here right away. So if you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com. This is a limited access program, the Algo IQ program. If you have any questions and want to find out about the last slots available for June and July, hit me up and I'll get you your info. Have a great day.